Hi guys. This is going to be pretty much the look of the main goal of this project is to mount these Staghorn ferns on this piece of bark. This top one has been mounted on this smaller piece of bark for a very long time, but it really needed more stuffing in the back. It was just drying out way too quickly, so I'm going to redo it, and I've got another little fern to put on this piece at another time because this video will get really long. So first of all, I was trying to decide the layout, and I think this works. So I am going to move these off and show you how I'm preparing this bark. I gathered it along the river from a very old tree. The bark had already come off. It was laying on the ground, and as you can see, it was kind of split, so I drilled some holes and kind of put some heavy-duty fishing line, use that, and I don't know what gauge that is, but that's some strong stuff, kind of like sutures in it to hold it together. That will not pull apart. Now, because it's got a little bit of a split, I'm going to take and kind of bandage the crack, and it will help also to keep the bit of potting soil, peaty stuff that's in behind them from getting out through that crack when I water. And in the very beginning, there is some that does leak out, but it is what it is. And you put a stopper in the tub, and I don't like that piece. There, I've got one more piece right there to cover that up, and that'll hold it in quite well. Now, I tried to put this all together so that this video wouldn't be a mile or an hour long. I cut these little pieces of cocoa coir, and I kind of decided the layout, and being that this is going to be the most awkward piece to do, I'm going to try to do it first and start wrapping it. I'm going to try to slip the fish line underneath this shield frond because I don't want to cut it off. There is another shield frond underneath it, and this is a third one. So, okay, I'm going to stop this right now, and I will tie on to this. I should have done that first, but okay, well, you know, it's me. I'm not so good at this. I'll be right back. Okay, I've secured the fishing line onto the edge of the wood. I just used one of the stitch holes that I had drilled to hold the piece together, and I'm going to, I think I want to lay this sideways. It was up like this. I don't know. Well, maybe I can do that. Okay, I'm gonna try that. Now I'm gonna kind of push it down into this. This one is not gonna get a cocoa coir front. It really doesn't need it. It already has moss and whatever, cocoa coir, sphagnum moss, everything all tucked up in there. So that'll stay together, but I did add a little more of that peat that I took off the other two when I tried to, I wanted to kind of flatten out the backs of them a little bit so that they would lay on the bark. And so I'm going to lay that down, or set that down, and I'm going to kind of work the best I can. I know that shield front is going to get torn some. It can't be helped. And I'm going to come around and grab it, and I guess I'm not going to be able to do what I had hoped I could do. I didn't want to go across that shield front, but I'm going to have to because it's just tearing it up to go around it, and it won't take much to secure it really, because it kind of starts gripping. It grows roots into that little bit that's already, that little bit of potting soil or peat that I put under there. So I'll just go over the top of it, and it'll cover that shield frond again. And I'm going to just do a couple more wraps hope I'm keeping this in frame. It's kind of hard to work on it and watch the camera. Okay, now let me cinch that down just a little bit. Okay. Now I'm going to come out. Now these second ones I will do a little bit differently. They've come out of their pot. I've taken them out of their pots, flattened down the backs a little bit, and now I'm just going to kind of run the fishing line down the bark at an angle so that I can come out. And I'm going, now this time I am going to use the cocoa coir around this, and I don't think it needs any more spag. There's a lot of peat on these that were in the pot, and so I'm just going to kind of put a diaper on them. I don't know what you'd call it, and just kind of, that'll hold that in. Eventually I'm going to cover that with some Spanish moss, which is not ideal, but it's the best I have. The spag I have is really short strands. It does not hold together. I am going to kind of tip that. I think I'm just going to cut just a little bit more off of that. It's a little bit more than it needs. I don't want it to be terribly bulky on this. Okay, so I'm going to tip that under and, you know, kind of fold it up like a little diaper. And I'm going to set it right there. And I'm going to come around with this down lower. Okay, and hope I'm in frame. It's kind of awkward to fiddle with, but I'm doing the best I can here. Sorry about the noises. It just can't be helped. I don't have enough room. Story of everybody's life here, I guess, huh? Okay, I'm going to go one more time around. And then I will snug that up a little bit. Oop, oop, oop. That slid off, and I don't want that cutting through the plant. So, no, it didn't go well. Let me, all right. Let me lift this up. Come on, little plant. You get out of the way now. Okay, I'm going to pull this back around. Oh, my carpet is taking a beating. All right, I'm going to slip through there so that this next wrap will hold that piece of fishing line down. There. Now, I'm actually going to have to come the other direction. And there. Now, that is not choking the neck of the plant down. All right. And then I'm going to, let's see how I want this to go so I know where to end this. I think I'll just put that right there. And eventually the three of them will kind of grow together into one big grouping. So I'm going to come around, snug that up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to come around here so that it'll hold itself. Hook it in the bark some. I'll take another piece of this cocoa coir and diaper this little guy. And am I still in screen? I hope. Okay, so you just kind of tuck it up like that, and just, yeah, that's kind of got a little much there. Just kind of tuck that bottom around, just to kind of cup that potting soil, and kind of go like that. Now, I've done this before on the other ones, and it worked really well, so I'm feeling okay about this. The fishing line shows a little bit, but not bad. Yeah, it isn't. In fact, I think I'm going to slip that in the crack, and there we go. That kind of disguises a little bit. And I'll just go around. Look at little Jax. Come on now, get up from my foot. Okay, now it holds on pretty well, and I'm going to put more on it as I put the Spanish moss on it. Let me tuck that under my plastic. Well, that's okay. That's my. Oh, thought I had that open. Guess I didn't. The longer strands of the Spanish moss kind of hang on to it a little bit better. I mean, it's easier to secure, and it also hides that fishing line. But the first couple wraps, I want it around the cocoa coir so that it is really well secured. Now, I'm going to come around that, through that crack again with the Spanish moss, and this is just to really pretty it up. It doesn't need to be done. If I had spag, long, what would you call it, long strand spag, I would be using it, but I don't. So, and I need to get these out of those pots. They were still really wet, and I bought those over a week ago, and they have not been watered since, and they're really, really wet, and I'm worried that they're a little too wet in those pots. So, okay, and then you just come around, and you can kind of see now how the fishing line kind of disappears in the moss. And I'm going to come up one more time. Oops. Oh, this is kind of clumsy. Come on now, get through there, you booger. There. All right. Now, I'm going to come up, tighten that down. Well, shoot, that slipped. Okay. Now, I'm going to come up above the plant. Okay, little guy, I'm going to go under you here. All right. And lay this out. And this is just, this Spanish moss is no longer alive. I'm not worried about bugs or anything like that being in it. And, let's see now, where did that go? I know I came out from under it. Where you be? There it is. No, that's the wrong one. Yikes. Okay, here it is. All right, there we go. Good deal. Now, this time I'm going to go all the way out around the edge, because that crack doesn't go up high enough, which is fine, probably a good thing. I imagine these will be on here for quite a while. And if I have to do a remount, because eventually this fern has the potential of engulfing this whole piece of bark, if I have to do a remount, I might just put this whole piece of bark on another bigger piece of bark. I don't know. Hopefully I don't have to do that for many, many years, because it'll get to the point where I don't know where to hang it. A friend of mine has one of these that weighs over 200 pounds, so I mean, we're guessing, but she can no longer lift it. She and her yard man can no longer lift it. Now I'm going to come up, and I don't really want to do much more on this wrapping on this one that's already here with the shield fronds. So I'm going to snip this off. And can I make any more of a mess? Am I any further off camera? Tear any more leaves? Ah! All right. I'm going to snip that off and get rid of that. Ah. Okay. Now, I'm going to come around the back, and I'm going to secure, I'm going to hold this piece of wood up. No, the cats have got my spool of fishing line. I'm going to secure this end around the wraps on the back with, I think they call them close hitch or half hitch knots. And oh man, I need my grabbers because I can't get it there. I don't have enough hands. Oh, get down in there. There, maybe that'll do it. Ah, I don't know what to do. There. Okay, that's what I wanted. All right. Now, I'm going to pull that tight. Pulling that tight. It's kind of hard to do. There. Hold it with my shoulder. My head isn't blocking it. I can't even see if you can see what I'm doing at all. There. Now, you guys need to practice up on your macrame to learn how to do these half hitch knots, or just Google it. It's pretty simple. And well, there's a piece of that off. That's okay. All right, now I'm going to get down on this lower one. Maybe you can see that better, be better in frame. So you go around the string and you make a loop and you take your end through the loop. Stuff is hard to work with with my clumsy hands. All right, now you pull that tight and then you go the other direction and you make a loop which completes your half hitch lark's head. Okay, now you come up the other way and go through, and you do several of those, and yeah, that works. That'll hold it. It'll, you get enough of these on there, it'll hold it. It won't turn loose. And all right. Well, I can't believe I got that done. Okay, now I hope you can see that. I've tied it off down there, and there you go. And she's mounted. Get this out of the way. I'll mount the other piece off camera, and now I see some bare spots over on this side, and you just need to kind of pull and tuck and make it look good. It'll be fine. And if you need to add some more Spanish moss, which I think I will do right there, I'll just tuck that in. And well, I need 3 hands here. There you go. All right, let's see if I can do this on camera. I'll tuck that in, that loop, and just kind of tuck the rest in underneath somewhere. And it'll hold. Once it's been wet, the Spanish moss will kind of knit itself together, and it'll be fine. And I take them to the bathtub, and I have rails across the top, and I have hooks on them. I forgot to show this. I just took a piece of copper wire and ran it through and looped it around, and I use an S hook to hang them, and I will probably hang them on the here, let me stop this and I'll show you where I plan on hanging it. Hold on. Okay, back again. I'll try to get up close enough so you can see. On the leg of that plant stand that I extended on one of my plant stand hack videos, I just put a little S hook in there and hooked the loop over that, and then I'll get back where I can get the whole thing in video. And it'll take some time, but the ferns will seek they will, as these grow out, the fronds will come out this way and that way, and it'll be fine. It took a while for this other fern. I'm going to just kind of pan around here real quick to get this other stag. Now this is also 3 ferns that have come together, and they've kind of knitted themselves together and grow nicely. So, excuse me, it'll be fine. It just takes time for them to, you know, it's like wrapping a vine around a moss pole. They take time to turn the fronds turn the right direction. So, okay, thanks for watching. I hope this helps somebody. It's not as scary to do as it. I was really intimidated. This was the first one I did right here, and I was really intimidated when I did that. It took me a long time to work up my courage to do it, but it's been there, I don't know, at least a year and a half, and it's doing great. Maybe longer than that. I don't know. I've lost track. So anyway, thanks for watching. Bye now. Real quick, editing Chris. I forgot to say that when I picked up the bark, I brought it home. I scrubbed it with a wire brush on both sides, and then I drenched the bark with a mixture of neem oil, water, and alcohol, and on both sides. And I let it dry in the sun and drenched it again. I did that about 3 different times, and you know, turning it over so that it could dry really well, and just to make sure that there weren't any weird bugs and stuff on it. And hopefully that cured that. I haven't had any trouble doing it that way before with the other mounts that I've done, and I've done 3 of them now. This will be number 4. So okay, thank you. Bye now.